In section 6.3, we're going to solve compound inequalities. And what that means is that you have an inequality symbol on both sides of your variable, or you have two separate inequality problems as one question. So if you have a problem like the first or second example, where you have a left side, a middle portion, and a right side, left, middle, right, but down in the last example here, I don't have that. I have an or in the middle. I'll get to that later. But if you have a middle section, you want to clear out the middle. So you want to solve it just like an equation. In the first example, z minus 8 is in the middle, so to undo that, I'm going to add 8. Now whatever I did in the middle, I have to do to the right and to the left sides. So I add 8 everywhere, and that gives me 13 less than or equal to z, which is less than 15. That is done, because I don't have any number in front of the z to divide by, so I'm done. Now in the next example, let's try that color. I want to clear out the middle. So first I'm going to do my addition, so I'm going to add 6. I'm going to add it to all sides. So that gives me negative 8 less than, I'm left with 2x in the middle, which is less than or equal to 18. Now to get the variable by itself, I need to divide everybody by 2, and I get negative 4 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 9. Now how do I do one where I have the or in the middle? So what I need to do is I'm going to treat them as two separate problems. And the or will come into play when we go to graph, which we're going to do in just a minute. So first we're going to solve them as two separate problems. Negative 2x is greater than 16. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. Now because I divided by a negative number, I have to flip my inequality symbol. So it becomes x is less than negative 8, or, and you have to include the word or when you write your answer. In the other problem, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. And that gives me x, again I divided by a negative, so flip your symbol and you get negative 6. So your whole answer would be both inequalities with the word or in the middle. So now what we're going to do is we are going to, what is all this? Go away. Okay. All right, we're going to go down now and we're going to graph our inequalities. So first you need to solve the inequality, and you're going to put circles over both of your numbers. Okay, so we're just going to graph both inequalities. Now here's what's going to happen. We're going to use the same inequalities from above. So let's go back to my original colors. Okay, I'm going to write the solutions that we got. The first one, we had 13 less than or equal to z less than 15. So if you draw yourself a number line. Now, in the last video, we did all of the dashes on the number line, but I'm okay if we just include 0 and the two numbers that we got in our answer. So if 13 and 15 are my two numbers, they're both on the right side of 0, so I'm going to move my 0 all the way to the left. And I'm going to skip a bunch of space, and I'm going to put a 13 here and a 15 close to that. Now I have to figure out what kind of circle I need to put over each number. The 13 had the inequality symbol that had the line over it, so I'm going to put a closed circle over the 13. And the 15 had an inequality symbol that did not have a line underneath it, so I put an open circle over the 15. Now, easy way to remember this, when your variable is in between the two numbers, like z is in the middle, you are going to put your line in the middle of your two dots, because this is the numbers that are between 13 and 15, and all those numbers fall in the middle. So you just connect your two dots. So the next one that we did, we got our answer to be negative 4 less than x less than or equal to 9. So same thing. Draw yourself a number line. This time I have a negative and a positive number, so I'm just going to put 0 in the middle. Negative 4 I'll put over here, and 9 is farther away from 0 on the right than 4 is, so make that further away. Again, you don't have to put all the dashes in. You're welcome to put all that if it helps you, but when I grade this, I'm going to be looking for 0 and the 2 numbers from the problem. Now, negative 4 is not included, so I put an open circle, but 9 is included, so I close that circle. And if x is in the middle, my line goes in the middle. And you're done. And the last one that we did, I think I switched the colors on this, but the last one that we did, we got the 2 answers. We got x is less than negative 8, or x is greater than or equal to negative 6. So I started out the same way. Because I have 2 negative numbers, I'm going to put my 0 all the way over here, and I'll say negative 6 is about here, and negative 8 is about here. Negative 8 is not included, so it gets an open circle. And negative 6 is included, so I close that circle. And this first inequality here says x is less than negative 8. Well, the numbers that are less than negative 8 are to the left. And this one says x is greater than negative 6, and greater than negative 6 is to the right. Notice when I draw my arrows, they're not connecting, because the word or means I have 2 separate parts. I have one inequality or the other inequality. A number can't be both of these things. So when you see the word or, your arrows are going to point away from each other. So it's an easy way to help remember that. And there is section 6.3.